You're not watching this content creator's content if you have self-respect, something to gain, and an IQ above room temperature. Verlisify has been on this platform since 2013. And for well over a decade, Pokemon-related content isn't all he's been broadly producing. I guess I can give you guys a too long don't listen if you don't want to sit through the entirety of this video for an explanation, let alone an absurd and enjoyable amount of context. Verlisify is a drama-mongering internet parasite. That may sound harsh, biased, and even vengeful, but then you realize that I have yet to give you all of this context I owe you for my allegations. I guess I can begin at, well, the beginning, because that's always the best place to begin. It started off so innocently. Even today, he's known for his guides and Pokemon-focused content in general. You know what else he's also known for? Drama. Lots and lots of deranged drama. While he did start off so innocent in the beginning, hell, you can even check out the guy's epic sign spinning skills in this video. It also didn't take him long to start drama. This became the baseline for his negative content. Instead of producing useful things en masse like guides and themed content like Fan Fridays, a switch flipped in his head. And just like that, this became his new bar for making content, getting those clicks, and of course, printing money. In order to understand this internet parasite's gimmick for relevance, attention, and money, you have to understand the parasite himself. Verlisify lives in his own deranged world of black and white where only he exists. Why? Because he's a self-righteous little person syndrome narcissist. If you're happy, he's angry. If you like every other PokeTuber but Verlisify, you're an NPC and an idiot. If you like Pokemon Legends Arceus, you're a Zoomer. If you hate Pokemon Sword and Shield, you're not a true Pokemon fan. Verlisify doesn't like anything that gets more attention than he does. And you guys should know how narcissists work. They're manipulators. They like to guilt trip you, gaslight you, shove the blame on you, anything that'll make you look like the problem while they conveniently play the role of the victim and savior. While everyone who is sane would just not engage in anything that they dislike, your buddy Verlisify here has to wage all kinds of fake wars. Smogon is a threat because to this day, they get way more attention than Verlisify's content in its entirety. And of course, narcissists are some of the most self-centered assholes in the world.
My stance, my rant, me, myself, and I.
In a nutshell, every bit of his misguided crybaby rhetoric starts off with self-glorification. It's all about Verlisify's opinion. Fuck everything else. And if you don't follow it, you're some kind of idiot. Oh, hold on. There it is. To make a long story short, it's the same script. The same applies to a narcissist. Either you're with them or you're against them. He's constantly attacking his followers, who quite frankly aren't very bright at all, to say the very least. And of course, he'll attack anyone that doesn't buy his bullshit. In fact, the only comments you're ever going to see on his videos are those comments that got the Verlisify heart of approval, because they simply said what he wanted to hear. This is the same guy that constantly antagonizes an entire community and then plays the victim the next second. Gee, I can only imagine why he's largely hated by an entire community. Verlisify doesn't just make drama-ridden content. He doesn't stop at saying that Smogon isn't official or competitive. He also takes the time to dehumanize, bully, and harass people as an incentive to accept his perspective on things. If that's your way of actually getting people to take you seriously and sending any kind of message, you lost the plot a long time ago. It's not about his stance on cheating. It's not about his opinion about other PokeTubers. It's not about his opinion on Smogon. Anything he cries about on the internet. It's about the way he goes about it. Now, his NPCs will constantly suck him off and say things like,
well, you don't like my daddy because he speaks the truth. He's always right.
there's a difference between telling it like it is and simply being an asshole, because people don't take your condescending ass any kind of seriously. And oh, look at this. You thought I brought this up for nothing. Let's take a look at these forbidden videos for a few examples. You don't even have to look at a single one of these videos. The sensationalism gives them away alone. Do you really think official judges allow cheating at competitions because Verlisify says so? Pokemon Sword and Shield trees look better than Breath of the Wild. There goes that victim card again. The Pokemon community is the worst it has ever been. The Pokemon community this, the Pokemon community that. There's a scandal over here, clickbait over there, hello pot, I'm kettle. All of his crybaby rhetoric is nothing more than whataboutism, painting a community he hates so much in a negative light, playing the victim, playing the savior, rinse and repeat over a decade ad nauseum. Look no further than the titles alone for a clue. He's been trying to shoot his shot for well over a decade now with Wolfe Glick. If he can only just once get that chance to stick his Diglett into this man. No wonder dislike bots killed his channel. Man, it's like this guy's perfect with no flaws in every way. He's always right. In a now deleted stream, or maybe he hid it like a bitch, like he has all of his other truths, no doubt. He dedicated around an hour to quote unquote play the game just to find people to snitch on through the reporting system in the game. Hold on. There it is. Reporting Animal Crossing Dream Islands for Star Trees hacks. Come and join in on the fun. Gee, it's almost like this law-abiding citizen doing the right thing was really a way he can validate and gratify himself. It smells like an ulterior motive. The rest of Verlisify's name is Troll Engagement. It's almost like he has some kind of bitter malice against every and anything that has any kind of fun and gets all of the adulation he never got in his miserable existence. I mean, how do you go from standing against cheating to getting some kind of gratification out of reporting children in a child's video game for cheating, and they just ended up patching up the little harmless glitch anyway? So he goes back to his little hole and he figures out something else to be angry about and try to make others miserable as well in the process. Again, rinse and repeat ad nauseum. It's the same script. Well, you get the idea. So this fake hero didn't die. He just saw himself become the villain. Yeah, people cheating in anything just erects his hate boner like nothing else. I don't think even Verlisify knows the real reason why, but something tells me it isn't really about cheating, but it's more about how he can engage with a dead platform to still get enough attention to feel that validation quota. It's all about how much he can disservice and piss off people. It's like a projection. Years later, in subscriber purgatory hell as well, the guy's lucky to get even 2,000 views in a single day. Oh, look at that. It's the same content. Wait a minute. It's 2013 all over again. And in true narcissist fashion, he'll always wonder what the problem is and ultimately why those dislike bots can't keep his name out of their fucking... Alright guys, I'll give you a freebie. Not that these are any kind of difficult, but this one right here, for example. Outside of the contrarian take that he hoped would give him tens of millions of views even, dick riding the game devs because, well, that's part of the contrarian gimmick. You know he has to rile up everyone by making his useless opinions different from the masses. Can be summed up like this.
The game devs are correct. You idiots are entitled. How dare you not grovel at their feet and put some respect on their name? You guys need to learn to read. This agreement was always front and center.
Well, he glossed over the part where people are understandably concerned about these companies collecting their information. And yes, I'm watching an Asmongold video just to make a point. But see, that's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. If it's controversial, that's the content he poops out. The facts don't matter, which is very telling when it comes from someone who's always right. It's always whataboutisms and some disgruntled rant that's been stuck in his head for the longest time that has either nothing to do with anything or something to do with something else. Either way, he has to spin that narrative to feel that
always right
self-proclaimed quota. Wait a second. What happened to this misguided and corporate dick writing shit post he made a few days ago? I thought the devs were in the right. You know, like how he thinks he's always right? He can't even believe his own convictions. He'll hide them away, much like he does with the ratings in his videos. Uh-oh, Sony reversed their unpopular, not to mention predatory requirement for people to play Helldivers 2 by removing the PSN account requirement. He naturally hides his always right conviction. This decision wasn't even up to the developers. This was all Sony's scummy doing. It wasn't the developer's choice to require people to connect to a PSN account to play the game. So he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. Do you guys remember the days when games were created and we could just play them? Yeah, the fact that those days are a distant memory is already a red flag to begin with, but Pepperidge Farm remembers. They also know how much of a fraud this internet parasite is, because not only does he not stand by his obtuse convictions, as uninformed as they often are, they also know how much of a prolific hypocrite he is as well. No matter how much he fake outrages about all of the cheating in Pokemon and cheaters in general, he's just projecting about his own adventures where he has taken some shortcuts as well. There was a time where he had a machine play a video game for him. Look who's being an entitled brat. This guy seriously needed a toy to play a Pokemon game for his lazy ass. There's also the classic Insta-check that he used to peek for shiny Pokemon. Found that one in the realm of illegal, let alone unauthorized third-party software that is blasphemous for others to use, but of course okay for Mr. Rules for thee to use. Ah, and what is this? Exploiting glitches, cloning items and Pokemon, taking advantage of exploits in video games. You mean to tell me the guy of his wet dreams, Wolfe Glick, isn't the only prolific cheater in Pokemon? No wonder he hates him so much. He's just like Wolfe Glick, the crybaby and unachieved version of him, that is. And it doesn't help that all of that fake outrage just adds up to him classically rage baiting for views. He only knows how to sensationalize everything, so he has to make these issues too big to ignore. Speaking of the cheating fake outrage, I think this is a good time to segue back into the rest of the video. Of course, I have to have a section in this video talking about his immense booty warrior obsession with Wolfe Glick, because quite frankly, Wolfe Glick achieved everything in Pokemon, regardless of all of the crybaby rhetoric and whataboutisms he ever had to say and regurgitate about the man for almost a decade now, and it's been eating him alive ever since, inventing random love stories about his crush every chance he gets. It became more than just proving that Wolfe Glick is a cheater, a fraud, blah blah blah. I'm sure if you look enough, you'll find him promoting, crusading for the cancellation of Wolfe Glick. That's how vaginal this guy has gotten. I think it's safe to say that Wolfe Glick stole his spotlight and success he never will achieve, no matter how many horror stories he paints about Wolfe Glick. No matter how much, well, hold on again, there it is. No matter how much his sexual tension for Wolfe Glick intensifies, every single one of these opportunities he had to prove that Wolfe Glick is this prolific liar, cheater, blah blah, blah, blah. He squandered it on his feelings. And this is the same guy again that misuses and abuses big words to people like him, of course, like narcissism, projection, etc. Anyone with more than 2 brain cells can ask themselves, wait a minute, baby girl's disgruntled ass never showed any evidence whatsoever of Wolfe Glick ever creating an illegally generated and or modified Pokemon. He's also made every single allegation that equates to his story and not Wolfe Glick's, because Wolfe Glick said, fuck this shit, I'm out years ago and moved on with his life. If you want to prove something, whether you're in a court of law or not, put your feelings aside and actually show an iota of evidence, admissible evidence, which is why he always twists things, spins narratives, invents facts, and propels himself even further with whataboutisms, because of course he's always right. And the same can be said when it comes to every single one of his fairy tales about people cheating and anything. Oh damn, did I really just doze off a second there? Oh yeah, Pokemon is dead in the West and here's the proof. See, there he goes again. I mean, this isn't the first time Verlisify has twisted everything, and it definitely won't be his last. Oh, there he goes again, playing the victim. So guys, I seriously want to know when someone, anyone, will ever catch Wolfe Glick actively cheating in anything. I want to see the evidence. I want to see the big man use an action replay, PK Hex even, you know, something substantial. I don't want to see the creator of the hacking tool that people are cheating with, you know, the person that is enabling them to cheat, get high and mighty and say,
here are the facts. People are cheating with the hacking tool I created for them to cheat with. I totally didn't expect this to spread to competitions.
Only for him to periodically update the same software. It's so stupid you can call it Verlisify. In fact, it's so mundane, I'd get a bigger laugh out of a drug dealer attempting to look down on the people he poisons with his drugs. And for those who defend him, by the way, accountability goes both ways. Wrong is wrong, and 2 wrongs don't make a right. Either way, I want to see admissible evidence for once when it comes to anyone cheating, because it's easy to post things on the internet and point at someone and say,
yeah, you cheated.
But then they forget that people can trade Pokemon. Maybe that person doesn't have knowledge of that Pokemon's origin. Guilty until proven innocent is not how the real world works. The narcissist lives in a black and white world. And I say all of that because of his echo chamber and other low IQ, loud minorities that are trying to flex with the moral grandstanding gimmick. If you actually have this thing called integrity, it would be about transparency, not cowardice. I'm sure the dislike bot had everything to do with this video as well. Oh, look at this, guys. This is the genesis of the big stink he made about Wolfe Glick's Dream Ball Raichu. I'll be sure to link this playlist for all of you to see if you're interested. If it was called an illegal ball, I guarantee you he will find something else to incessantly bitch about for well over a decade. Now, he links this match in that particular video for everyone to see. He never told anyone that this match wasn't even a VGC match. Why is this context important? Well, when you have the ulterior motive of character assassinating someone rather than actually proving that they cheated in anything, context is indeed everything. You see, his whole idea is to paint Wolfe Glick as this prolific cheater. He cheats in matches, he cheats in any and everything. But why didn't he just simply say, regardless if it's a hacked Raichu or not, that this wasn't even a VGC match? Well, if you're one of his minions, you'll believe any and everything your daddy says without question, so there's that. They don't care about context and the truth. For his 2016 World Championship, Wolfe Glick used a completely different Raichu. And it's this one right here that you see on your screen. Both Raichu, by the way, are legally possible. I say as much in this video. What Verlisify never clarified is the legality of a Dream Ball Raichu, which was indeed possible at the time, along with the Raichu Wolfe Glick used for his 2016 World Championship match. The origin of the Pokemon and the legality of the Pokemon are not mutually exclusive. Verlisify doesn't know either of these things. He just went, oh,
Oh, improbability means impossible.
Without actually looking into anything. If he did, he would have disclosed that both Pokemon are legally possible and separate that from their origins, which he did not know and still doesn't know. Hell, I don't even know. The point is, that's something someone honest would do. Verlisify, a narcissist, is not honest. His job is to manipulate his low IQ fans so he can build up this deranged echo chamber that goes around hate-mongering, bullying, harassing, and dehumanizing people for their validation. People love to be fed whatever bullshit sounds good to them. This is why he is so dishonest about everything. This is why he's so hateful. This is why he hides things. This is why everything is so evil if it doesn't revolve around him. And this is why every single intellectual avoids his content entirely. It's the same tired tabloid journalism, just infinitely more insufferable. There's always something dead. There's always something evil. And ladies and gentlemen, don't you find it rich when a manipulator tells you that you're being manipulated shortly before they dehumanize, bully, and harass you for not accepting them and their rhetoric as your Lord and Savior? The same fucking script from 2013. The same old fairy tales. Everyone else is the problem. Projection, narcissism, you name it. I think the most hilarious thing he does after the smoke clears is crawl back into his little shell and do anything but stand on business. That's probably the only thing he does consistently. He hides himself and his pathetic excuse for content like he did with his Pokemon Legends Arceus videos, just to regurgitate the same shit he manufactured about that game with Pokemon Legends ZA. Once again, if that isn't another fine example of a fraud, ladies and gentlemen, please tell me what is. We're talking about the same guy who of course played the victim, crying about the shit posts he made. He had to hide away the same useless, obtuse, and toxic content he chose to create, because in reality it got massacred and memed on deservedly, and disabling the ratings just wasn't enough for his fragile ego. But he believed all of these things he was saying about Pokemon Legends Arceus. So who wants to guess what's going to happen to his Pokemon Legends ZA shitposts? Feel free to not answer that rhetorical question. Again, if anyone is honest and believes their convictions, they'll stand on that business, not hide it away. Beyond all of that, there's nothing much to say that I haven't already said. He's been on a lot of irrelevant podcasts you probably never heard about, talking shit. It's a therapy session for him, because one ass licker gave him a platform to release all of that sexual tension he has built up over the years over things he claims he hates but lives rent-free in his deranged head. Their moniker is Real Men Talk Shit. I guess they think that sounds cool and edgy. Do you guys know those podcasts where they're talking about a bunch of boring shit and they're all over the place? That's nothing new here, but at least he has another platform as dead as his channel that he can turn into a jacuzzi, let alone therapy, for all of that publicified derangement he manufactured over the years. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is as relevant as Verlisify will ever get, no matter how hard he cries. Well, just make sure you use code Verlisify or RMTS for 20% off your G Fuel order.